Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Salutation and salutations to the brothers out there that are laboring and pushing this truth and in sincerity and in charity and risking their lives and their freedom to do so. To you I say Shalom. To the Akem and to the Akwaf. That'll be you brothers and sisters. Adawan Ratazah. That is to say, Lord willing, hopefully by the end of this lesson, you'll be edified. This is your brother Amawan Ibad, back again with another lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, from the GMS Miami camp. Lord willing, this lesson be edifying, okay, onto the elect of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right? So with that, I'm going to go into this lesson, and this is going to be more like a spiritual read. I remember when I read this chapter, I can't remember exactly when, but it's a little while back, good ways back. But the brothers was speaking of this this account right here. We were trying to remember where what was that. We were trying to locate it, but it is First ESDRAS, the 4th chapter. Okay, and this is going into the king, a woman, and the truth. Which is stronger, the king, the woman, or the truth? This account, it's a lot to learn from this, so I don't have too much time. I'm on a lunch break. I'm gonna get into it, and we're gonna read it and go through it, so this is going to be like a spiritual read in this particular lesson, and Lord willing, I find a title by the end of this lesson. Okay, so this is all of the spirit, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. I'm going to read First ESDRAS, the 4th chapter. Okay, so let's get into it. This is First ESDRAS chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, Then the second that had spoken of the strength of the king began to say, O ye men, do not men excel in strength that bear rule over sea and land and all things in them? But yet the king is more mighty, for he is Lord of all things, Salaki, of all these things, and hath dominion over them. And whatsoever he commanded them to do, Salaki, whatsoever he commanded them, they do. So this is speaking of the king, right? It says, if he bid them make war, the one against the other, they do it. That's the power that a king has, right? He has that authority to give orders, commands. It says, if he send them out against the enemies, they go and break down mountains, walls, and towers. They slay and are slain and transgress not the king's commandment, right? Because he's a king. It says, if they get the victory, they bring all to the king, as well as the spoil and all things else. So this would the king would get when the king, send his army out to a war. If they win that war, they get the spoils. That's how it is. It's been like that throughout history. The victor get to write history and take the spoils, man. That's how it's been like that. Even if that history is a lie, as we know, that's how Esau do it. He's a wicked man, but not to stray from the topic. Verse 6, it says, likewise, for those that are no soldiers and have not to do with wars, but use husbandry, when they have reaped again that which they had sown, they bring it to the king, right? And compel one another to pay tribute unto the king. So, this is speaking of the king, right? It says, verse 7, And yet he is but one man, right? And if he command to kill, they kill. If he command to spare, they spare. If he command to smite, they smite. If he command to make desolate, they make desolate. If he command to build, they build. If he command to cut down, they cut down. If he command to plant, they plant. So all his people and his armies obey him. Furthermore, he lieth down, he eateth and drinketh, and taketh his rest. And these keep watch round about him. Neither may anyone depart and do his own business, neither disobey they him in anything, right? Because he's the king, right? O ye men, how should not the king be mightiest, when in such sort he is obeyed, and he held his tongue? Okay, so they're looking for what is mightiest, man? The woman, the king, or this truth, or truth, you know? It says, First Esdras, the 4th chapter, and verse 13, it says, Then the third, who had spoken of woman, and of the truth, this was Zerubbabel, began to speak. O ye men, is it not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine, right, that excelleth? Who is it then that ruleth them, or had the lordship over them? Are they not women? Okay, so this is Zerubbabel, and he's speaking of women, right? It says, women have borne the king, and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Okay, even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyards, from whence the wine cometh. These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be. It says, Yea, if men gather together gold and silver, or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty? And letting all those things go, do they not gape, and even with open mouth fix their eyes fast on her? And have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver and gold, or any goodly thing whatsoever? Speaking of the woman, it says, a man leaveth his own father that brought him up, and his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembereth neither father, nor mother, nor country. By this also ye must know that women have dominion over you. Do you not labor and toil, and give and bring all to the woman? You see that? Some women ain't got to do nothing, man. Some women could just sit and stay right where they is, and just do what they have to do. You know, some women just lay on their back and everything just come to them. They ain't got to do much, right? But reading on, it says, verse 23, 1 Ezra chapter 4 and verse 23 says, Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sail upon the sea and upon rivers, and looketh upon a lion and goeth in the darkness, and when he had stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love. Okay, meaning the woman, man. It says, Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother. Yea, many there be that have ran out of their wits for women, and became servants for their sakes. Yeah, that's some men love women that much, man. It says, Many also have perished, have erred and sinned for women. And now, do ye not believe me? Is it not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I say him, and Apam, the king's concubine, the daughter of the admirable Barticus, it says, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the crown from the king's head, and setting it upon her own head. she also struck the king with her left hand. And yet for all this the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth. Right? But if that was another man trying that would have been a problem. Let me read that again. It says verse 30. We'll start at verse 29. It says, "Yet did I see him Anapame, the king's concubine, the daughter of the admirable Barticus, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the crown from the king's head and setting it upon her own head, she also struck the king with her left hand." You see? It says, verse 31, "And yet for all this the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth. If she laughed upon him, he laughed also. But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter, that she might be reconciled to him again." Right, you see? But a man couldn't do that. But it says, "O ye men, how can it be but woman should be strong, seeing they do thus?" And it says, "Then the king and the princess looked at one another, so he began to speak of the truth." Right. So one came and spoke about the king. Zerubbabel spoke about the woman, and also he spoke about the truth. It says, verse 34, 1 Ezra chapter 4, and verse 34 says, "O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in its course." I'm going to start at verse 33 again. It says, "Then the king and the princess looked one upon another, so he began to speak of the truth." Okay, now he's going into the truth. Verse 34, it says, "O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course. For he compasseth the heavens round about, and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Is he not great that maketh these things?" That's right. "Therefore great is the truth," okay, "and stronger than all things." Right, the truth, man. Okay, the wisdom of the Most High. Right, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai. It says, "Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth." All right, "and stronger than all things." So that means stronger than the king, stronger than woman. Okay, the truth, man, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, man. Okay, verse 36, it says, all the earth crieth upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All works shake and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing. Wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works. And there is no truth in them. In their unrighteousness also they shall perish. As for the truth, it endureth and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. So the truth, man, at the end of the day, not a king, not a woman, okay? You see? So it says, with her, there is no accepting. It says with her, well, you know, the only king is the King of Kings, okay, which is Yahweh Shai, all right? As we know, he's the Word. One of his titles is the Word of God. So Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, okay? That's the truth, man. The truth and the real truth of the matter, right? It says, verse 38 again, it says, as for the truth, it endureth and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth all things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things, and all men do well like of her works. And all men do well like of her works. Neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness, and she is the strength kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. Blessed be the power of truth, man, Yahweh. Okay? It says, blessed be the power of truth. Okay, Yahweh. Right? Bashim Yahushai. It says, verse 41, and with that he held his peace. Okay, so speaking about Zerubbabel, it says, and all the people then shouted and said, great is truth, and mighty above all things. That's right. Then said the king unto him, I ask what thou wilt more. Say, ask, and this was in the time of Darius, King Darius. I think that was the Medes and the Persians rulership. It says, then said the king unto him, ask what thou wilt more than is appointed in the writing, and we will give it thee, because thou art found wisest, and thou shalt sit next to me, and shall be called my cousin. Right. So the king told Zerubbabel he's gonna sit next to him and be called my cousin, man. It says, then said he unto the king, remember thy vow which thou hast vowed to build Jerusalem in the day when thou camest to thy kingdom. Okay, you see, the Lord always uses one of his servants, man. Okay, and bring that favor back to his people, man, which is the Lord's will. You know, he's the Father of spirits, and he do his pleasure. He uses who he uses, man. You know, meaning he Lord say he'll have mercy on who he'll have mercy on, and he will harden who he will harden. Roughly paraphrasing. It says, verse 43 again, it says, then said he unto the king, meaning Zerubbabel, remember thy vow which thou hast vowed to build Jerusalem in the day when thou camest to thy kingdom, and to send away all the vessels that were taken away out of Jerusalem, which Cyrus set apart, when he vowed to destroy Babylon and to set them again thither, meaning there. Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldeans. Speaking of the time when the Babylonians sacked Jerusalem. Okay, and the Edomites helped them. They burned the temple. We just read it. 1 Ezra chapter 4 and verse 45. Thou also vowed to build up the temple, which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldeans. And now, O Lord, the King, this is that which I require, and which I desire of thee. And this is the princely liberality proceeding from thyself. I desire therefore that thou make good the vow, the performance whereof with thine own mouth thou hast vowed to the King of heaven. Then Darius the king stood up and kissed him, and wrote letters for him unto all the treasurers and lieutenants and captains and governors, that they should safely convey on their way both him and all those that go up with him to build Jerusalem. He wrote letters also unto the lieutenants that were in Seleucia and Phoenix, and unto them in Lebanus, that they should bring cedar wood from Lebanus unto Jerusalem, and that they should build the city with him. Moreover, he wrote for all the Jews that went out of his realm up into Jewry, concerning their freedom, that no officer, no ruler, no lieutenant, no treasurer should forcibly enter into their doors, and that all the country which they hold should be free without tribute, and that the Edomites should give over the villages of the Jews which they then held. Okay, it says, yea, that they should be yearly given 20 talents to the building of the temple until the time that it were built. It says, and another 10 talents yearly to maintain the burnt offerings upon the altar every day, as they had a commandment to offer 17. And that all that they went from Babylon to build the city should have free liberty, as well they as their posterity, and all the priests that went away. He wrote also concerning the charges and the priests' vestments, it says, wherein they minister, and likewise for the charges of the Levites to be given them until the day that the house were finished and Jerusalem builded up. And he commanded to give to all that kept the city pensions and wages. He sent away also all the vessels from Babylon that Cyrus had set apart, and all that Cyrus had given in commandment, the same charge he also to be done, and he sent unto Jerusalem. Now when this young man was gone forth, he lifted up his face to heaven toward Jerusalem, and praised the King of heaven, okay, the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and said, from thee cometh victory, from thee cometh wisdom, and thine is the glory, and I am thy servant. Blessed art thou, O who has given me wisdom, for to thee I give thanks, O Lord of our fathers. And so he took the letters and went out and came unto Babylon and told it to all his brethren, and they praised Yahweh of their fathers, because he had given them freedom and liberty, okay, to go up and to build Jerusalem and the temple which is called by his name. And they feasted with instruments of music and gladness 7 days, man, okay, because the Lord gave him that wisdom, man, to speak before the king, okay. Yeah. So, hey, this was the reading of First Esdras, the 4th chapter. I'm gonna just call it First Esdras, the 4th chapter, man. It's very, historical, spiritual, and something to learn from, man. Things written aforetime was written for our learning, okay? Romans 15:4. So with that, Lord willing, you were edified on to the next one. Shalom.